Dad didn't ease into it. He never did. He just wiped his hands on a kitchen towel, looked straight at me, and said, "We're hosting Brooke's engagement party that weekend. Just push your wedding." My stomach tightened so hard it felt like the air left the room. Not once did he ask if I could move it. Not once did he consider what I'd already paid for, or what it meant to me. Brooke, my younger sister, didn't help. She leaned against the fridge with her perfect little grin, twirling her ring like she was starring in some reality show. "That's okay, right?" she asked, fake sweet. "My party's a big deal for the family." Family. Right. I guess I didn't count as part of it. For a split second, heat spread across my face, but I forced a smile so calm it made Brooke's eyebrows twitch. "Sure," I said. "I get it." Dad nodded, relieved. Brooke smirked, satisfied. Mom muttered something about timing as she set plates on the table. They thought I'd roll over. They always did. But that night things changed. After dinner, I went to my room and opened my phone. Notifications were already exploding from the family group chat, one I wasn't even supposed to be in. Brooke must have added me by accident, because the messages were flying. "Mom." Good thing Haley agreed. Her wedding would have been too simple anyway. "And Kendra. Plus, that last name she's taking, Reeves, isn't that connected to something big?" My heart paused. "Dad." I looked it up. The Reeves logistics family? Is her fiancé really one of them? "Brooke." There's no way. Haley would have told us. Tell them? They never asked. Never cared. A few more messages came through. Panicked, shocked, scrambling. Then someone wrote the one line that made everything explode. "Aunt Mel. If she marries him, doesn't that make her a Reeves too?" Typing bubbles burst across the chat like fireworks. "Mom. We need to talk to her. ASAP." "Dad." This changes everything. "Brooke. What if her wedding overshadows my engagement?" I stared at the messages, then typed back. "Too late. Marriage license is already filed. I'll be Haley Reeves soon." The chat went dead. Completely silent. Not a peep for almost a full minute. Then messages started shaking in one after another. "Dad. Come downstairs. Now." I walked into the living room with the calmest expression of my life. Brooke stood there clutching her phone like it betrayed her. Mom looked like she'd seen a ghost. Dad's jaw was so tight, I could hear his teeth grind. Mom started, "Why didn't you tell us who he really is?" I shrugged. "You never cared enough to ask." Brooke snapped, "This could ruin MY weekend." I smiled, slow and steady. "No, this is just the first time you've realized I'm not the small one in the family anymore." Dad swallowed hard. "So, you're really marrying a Reeves?" "Yep." "And you didn't think we deserved to know?" "Oh," I said softly, "you'll know everything soon." Their confusion was delicious. Because they had no idea that Logan, my fiancé, wasn't just from the Reeves family. He was the heir. And the moment my new last name hit everyone's phones, their little world was about to flip. Dad paced the living room like he was preparing for a press conference instead of talking to his own daughter. Mom kept wringing her hands, and Brooke stared at me like I had personally stolen her spotlight and set it on fire. "Haley," Dad finally said, "you need to understand how this looks. Your fiancé's last name carries weight." "Influence," Mom corrected. "Power," Brooke added, crossing her arms. I leaned against the doorway, calm and steady. "And that bothers you, why?" Brooke scoffed. "Please, don't act innocent. If people hear you're marrying a Reeves, everyone will talk about your wedding while mine is happening. That's literally the opposite of what we need." There it was. The truth. Not concern. Not care. Just ego. Mom stepped in. "We're not saying don't marry him. We're just saying the timing is bad. Maybe postpone the announcement until after Brooke's party." I raised an eyebrow. "What announcement?" Dad hesitated. "The one that says your last name changes." I shook my head. "You think I'm planning some flashy reveal?" "I literally didn't plan to tell anyone." Brooke narrowed her eyes. "Then why didn't you tell us?" "Because," I said softly, "you never asked. You never cared enough to ask. Their faces tightened, but I didn't let the silence sit too long. And before you say anything, I continued, I didn't marry for money or status. Logan was the guy who fixed my car on the side of the highway at 11 p.m. when no one else picked up my call. That's who he is to me. Dad muttered. Still, he's a Reeves. Yeah, I replied, and I'm about to be one too. Brooke stomped her foot. Yes, actually stomped. This isn't fair. Mom gently grabbed her arm. Sweetheart, calm down. No, Brooke snapped. This is MY weekend, and she's ruining it. Just ask her to move her wedding. I took a slow breath, feeling every bit of disrespect sharpen inside me. Then I said, my wedding is not moving. Not an inch. Dad straightened. Haley, no, I interrupted. You asked me to sacrifice something that means everything to me so Brooke can have her moment. Fine. I smiled and agreed. But I'm not moving the date. Brooke's face twisted. You're doing this to overshadow me. I laughed under my breath. Brooke, your engagement party isn't even in the same month as my wedding. The only one creating drama is you. She opened her mouth to argue again, but before she could, my phone buzzed. Logan. I answered, putting him on speaker without hesitation. Hey, he said in that calm, warm tone that made the entire room shift. Everything okay? Dad's posture changed instantly, like someone important had just walked in. I smiled. Yeah. We're having a conversation. Do they know? Logan asked. They do now. A small pause. Then Logan exhaled. Good. Because I already told my parents, and they'd like to meet yours before the family announcement goes out tomorrow morning. Dad nearly choked on his own breath. Mom's eyes widened. Brooke looked like her brain rebooted. Announcement. Mom repeated. Logan continued, loud enough for everyone to hear. Yeah. About Haley joining the Reeves family. It's already drafted by the PR team. Brooke's knees buckled. Dad sank into the nearest chair. I kept my voice even. Sounds good. I'll be there. Love you, Logan said. Love you too. I ended the call. Silence spread like smoke. Then Brooke whispered, Is this actually happening? Oh yeah, I said softly. And you haven't even seen the real surprise yet. Their panic wasn't loud now. It was quiet, nervous, and shaky. Exactly how it felt every time they dismissed me. But now, the balance had finally shifted. The next morning, sunlight barely hit my window before my phone lit up again, this time with more messages than I'd seen in my entire life. Calls. Missed calls. Voicemails. A wave of notifications from group chats I'd forgotten I was even in. Brooke. Why didn't you tell me the Reeves family had a PR team? Mom. Honey, please call us. We need to talk before anything goes public. Dad. We need to meet this morning. Urgent. Urgent. Funny how everything becomes urgent once they realize I matter. I took my time getting dressed. Natural makeup, soft waves, a simple blue blouse. Nothing extravagant. Just enough to look like someone who no longer needed anyone's approval. When I walked down the stairs, Dad was already waiting in the living room like he was rehearsing a speech. Mom sat stiffly beside him, hands folded tight. Brooke paced the room like a hamster on espresso. The second she saw me, Brooke rushed forward. Do you know what people are saying? Do you understand how this makes me look? I lifted a brow. No one knows anything yet. The announcement hasn't gone out. But it will, she snapped. And everyone will think your wedding is more important than my engagement. Mom leaned in, trying to soften the blow. Sweetheart, we're just asking you to delay your public announcement until after Brooke's party. I laughed a little. It came out sharper than I intended. You're asking me to be invisible. Again. Dad exhaled hard. We're not trying to make you invisible, Haley. Yes, you are, I said calmly. And every time I've let you. Not anymore. Dad opened his mouth again, but before he could make another excuse, there was a knock on the front door. 3 slow, authoritative knocks. Brooke went pale. Oh my God, who is that? Dad stood up like he expected a camera crew to be waiting outside. He opened the door and froze. Standing there, in a crisp navy suit, was Nathan Reeves, the patriarch of the Reeves family. Logan's father. Beside him stood Logan, looking effortlessly confident, hands in the pockets of his gray blazer. Dad's voice cracked. "And Mr. Reeves." Nathan smiled politely. "Please, call me Nathan." Mom gasped like oxygen had just re-entered the room. Brooke's jaw dropped so hard it almost hit the floor. I walked forward. Logan's expression softened the second he saw me. "Morning," he murmured, kissing my forehead. Nathan stepped inside, surveying the room with the calmness of a seasoned CEO who'd seen every kind of chaos a boardroom could throw at him. "Thank you for meeting with us on such short notice," Nathan said. "We wanted to do things properly." Dad swallowed hard. Of course. Please come in." Everyone sat. Well, everyone except Brooke, who hovered behind Mom like she might faint. Nathan rested his hands gently on his knee. "As you probably heard, our family's PR department plans to release a small announcement regarding Haley's upcoming marriage to my son." Mom's eyes darted nervously. "A small announcement?" "Yes," Nathan replied kindly. "Just a formal acknowledgement. Nothing extravagant." Dad cleared his throat. "We're honored. Truly honored. It's just that we weren't prepared." Logan glanced at me before saying, "Haley hasn't always felt supported here." Silence. Thick. Unmistakable. Dad started to defend himself, but Nathan held up a hand. Polite but firm. "I don't mean to intrude on personal matters," Nathan said. "But I want you to understand this. My son chose Haley for who she is, not our name. Her kindness, her sense of responsibility, her strength, we value that. Deeply." My chest tightened. No one had ever spoken about me like that in front of my own family. Brooke blinked rapidly. "Well, we didn't know. She didn't tell us." Nathan looked at her with a gentle, almost fatherly expression. "Respect doesn't require you to know someone's status. It requires you to value them without conditions." Dad's gaze fell to the floor. Mom's shoulders tensed. Brooke had no comeback. Logan slipped his hand into mine. "We're not here to cause issues. We just want honesty going forward." Nathan nodded. "And we'd like both families to be part of this process, with mutual respect." Dad finally exhaled. "You're right. You're absolutely right." Then he turned to me. "Haley, we didn't treat you fairly. I'm sorry." The words were stiff, but real. Mom added, voice cracking, "We should have celebrated you more." Brooke hesitated, then stepped forward. "I'm sorry too. I was jealous. I shouldn't have been." I held my breath for a moment before answering. "Thank you. I appreciate the apology. But you need to understand something." They all looked at me. "I'm not dimming myself anymore. Not for anyone. Not even family." Logan squeezed my hand. Nathan smiled. Dad nodded slowly. "You're right. You deserve more." Brooke sighed. "So, what now?" I took a deep breath. "Now? You focus on your engagement. And I'll focus on my wedding. No competition. No disrespect. Just family." It felt strange saying it, like the word finally meant something. Nathan stood. "Then it sounds like both families will have a good year ahead." Dad shook his hand with both of his. Mom hugged me suddenly. Brooke joined in after a long pause. And for the first time in years, it actually felt genuine. Logan leaned down and whispered, "Told you things would shift." I smiled. "Yeah, but you didn't tell me it would feel this good." The days leading up to Brooke's engagement party were surprisingly calm, almost surreal. For once, no one compared us. No one told me to step back, quiet down, stay small, or be understanding. It felt like I'd stepped into an alternate version of my own family. And honestly, I wasn't mad at it. The morning of the engagement party, Mom knocked on my room door. Softly. Carefully. Like she wasn't sure if she even had the right. "Come in," I said. She peeked inside, holding a pastel gift bag. "I got you something." I blinked. "For me?" She nodded. "Just a small gift. I realized I've spent so many years celebrating everyone else while barely seeing you. I'm trying to fix that." Inside the bag was a delicate bracelet, silver, simple, engraved with one word. Loved. My throat tightened. Thank you, Mom. She hugged me, really hugged me. You always were. The engagement party was held at the family clubhouse, twinkling lights, catered tables, floral displays everywhere. Brooke looked stunning in soft lilac, glowing with excitement instead of insecurity for the first time. When I arrived with Logan, heads actually turned. Not because of his last name, but because we walked in confident, united, and happy. Brooke rushed over first. You came? I laughed. It's your day. Of course I did. She bit her lip. I also wanted to talk to you before everything starts. We stepped aside near one of the decorated arches. I was awful to you, she said, voice trembling. You didn't deserve any of it. I got so caught up in trying to be the favorite that I forgot you were my sister, not my competition. I exhaled slowly. I just wanted respect. That's all I ever needed. You have it now, she said firmly. And you won't lose it again. Not from me. We hugged, and for the first time since we were kids, it felt real. Halfway through the party, Dad stood on the little stage near the DJ booth and tapped the mic. The music lowered. I want to say something, he began. My heart clenched. Old instincts braced for something hurtful. But instead, he turned toward me. Haley, he said, we haven't always treated you as the strong, capable woman you are. We were wrong. And I want everyone here to know we're incredibly proud of you. A stunned silence fell over the room as guests glanced my way. Dad continued. And we're thrilled to welcome the Reeves family into ours. Logan, your parents, your entire family, thank you for valuing our daughter the way she deserves. Logan squeezed my hand as people around us began to applaud. Not politely, not stiffly, but warmly. Brooke even whistled. Dad stepped off the stage and came straight to us. He placed a hand on my shoulder. I mean every word, he said. From now on, we do better. Thank you, I whispered. Later, when the party mellowed into soft music and laughter, Logan and I stepped outside onto the balcony. City lights shimmered below, the air warm and easy. He brushed a loose strand of hair behind my ear. So, think your family will survive being connected to mine? I laughed. Barely, but they'll adjust. Logan leaned closer. And you? How are you doing? I looked back through the glass, my family laughing, talking, treating me like I belonged. I'm good, I said softly. Really good. Logan kissed my forehead. You earned this peace, Haley. I smiled. And a new last name. He grinned. Mrs. Reeves soon? Soon. We stood there quietly, holding hands as the wind moved around us, carrying away the last of the old bitterness. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the girl overlooked. I was the woman who stood her ground, found respect, claimed her place, and still walked away with love. Not revenge that destroyed, but revenge that finally healed.